Hey, it's Dan at Buckethead Props, and it's time to continue my Rivendell Guard costume, and today we are patterning some armour. Let's go. So patterning's not a thing that I have done a lot of in the past. A lot of the things I've built have been bought in kit form and I put them together and we can make some really awesome costumes that way. This costume actually requires some decent patterning to make the different parts. Now I did manage to find some really good patterns online. The quality of them isn't great, but it's better than nothing and something to start work on. So I pulled the patterns into Illustrator to get them scaled correctly. I made an artboard that was A4 in size, that way everything I put onto this artboard would print on the correct size sheet of paper. I do intend to upgrade and share these patterns so that everyone can have much better versions of these patterns, but for now I just had to scale everything and get it printed out. So I printed my patterns out just to check the scale. I also ended up making sketches of the different pieces, like this is a bracer. I drew around my arm on there and then drew everything on that. This means I can get the scale kind of right, and when I print out the different pattern parts I can see if they're going to be about right on my arm. I decided to just start with the arms as these are the smallest bits and seem the most simple to sort of scale to myself. And here is my pauldron, which goes on my shoulder. I've just put them together with paper fasteners. They're the little brass ones where you open the wings on the back. But this is looking about right for me, I think. This has been tweaked a little bit, and yeah, I think that's fitting all right. There's going to be much more detail on these and a very different shape on the top here, but that I'm not going to make out of metal, so we'll get to that later. I think that's working so far. Now the Gauntlet pieces are much more tricky. There's a lot more overlapping of all the different parts, and it was quite tricky to work out from the patterns I found online in what order they went together. This was my first printout, which I put together with paper fasteners. This isn't right, and it's miles too small. It's supposed to cover my whole forearm. You can see it only comes about 2/3 of the way up. And yeah, I had no idea how the pieces were supposed to cross together and how they fit together, but we improved on that. Here was my next one. I did print this with the backing piece as well. This backing piece I believe is going to be leather. This was a bit better, and I've started to gauge how these actually cross over and attach together. Again, this kind of worked, but again, it's massively underscaled and doesn't really cover my whole forearm. But this was a good test piece to understand how this thing is going to go together. This one, on the other hand, is my latest iteration. This is much better scaled. This covers my whole forearm all the way up, like that. I've got this crisscross pattern pretty much sorted out in my mind, how it works. It's just going to be how this transfers over to metal when I get to that. The only thing I think I need to do to this is make a couple of bits a bit bigger. I think these bits right at the top, which make like an elbow guard, they're not big enough. It's scaled as per the pattern, but I think I just need to make them a little bit bigger to match the reference a bit better. And in terms of attaching them to the leather on the back, when I do that, there are whole guides on the pattern. They are not very accurate, so I'm just going to be modding that when I get there. But other than that, I think this one is ready to be transferred to metal. So I need to continue patterning the rest of my pieces. I have the body to do, which is a lot of big pieces, and the tassets. That's it, tassets. Tassets. They are the pieces that hang from the torso and cover the top of the thighs. So that's where I'm at for the Rivendell Guard cosplay. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of the pieces printed out and scaled correctly. In the next one we should get to cutting some metal. That should be really fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you join me in the next one. And of course, until then, take care. Bye bye. Have you got the guns? I do not. I don't. I really don't. Maybe a little.